Within our coaching circles held within the Prestige, we were working with a client recently who was preparing to give a talk on performance anxiety. And on paper, she was more than qualified to teach it. She had deep experience with the topic, both personally and professionally, and her material was strong. She was planning to speak about regulation, about calming the system down, about breathing, about managing stress in high pressure environments. Everything she was saying was correct. And it's right in line with what's in vogue when we talk about nervous system regulation. However, at the same time, there is a quiet mismatch sitting underneath it. Because knowing what to do, essentially calm down and breathe, has no value if you can't access it when you are already under pressure. And so she, like almost everyone else who works in the somatic field at a high level, they just never really have trained for the level of pressure and access under activation. So that's the conversation that we had within our coaching circle. It changed how she walked into the room and how she led her meeting, and I'm inspired to share it with you. You can prepare, you can rehearse, you can walk yourself exactly through how you want to show up, what you want to say, how you want to lead the moment, and then the moment arrives. Your body tightens, your breathing shifts, your focus narrows, and suddenly you're just not the version of yourself that you prepare to be. Nothing about your knowledge has changed. You didn't suddenly forget what to do. You didn't lose your skill. You lost access to it. It's like the lights went off on what you knew. And so the only thing you could reach for is the first thing that you could feel in the dark. If you've ever been in a moment where something is on the line, a conversation that matters, sales, a deal that could move your business forward, a room where dynamics are shifting and you can feel it, well, yeah, you already know that you should calm down. That idea is not new and it's not missing and it's already in your system. Problem is that in that moment, you just often can't access it. And even when you can, calm is maybe not even the state that actually serves you. There's an assumption baked into most conversations about performance anxiety that the goal is to reduce activation, to bring yourself down to something controlled, neutral, manageable, right? But the real performance does not happen in neutral conditions or a neutral state of being. It happens when your system is activated or upregulated, when there's pressure, when there is uncertainty, when there's something at stake and your body is rising to that and responding to the reality of the conditions, whether you like it or not. And so the question has to mature, it has to shift. Not how do I calm down, but what happens when I don't? Because that is where you are actually operating. And if the only tool that you have and that you've trained is how to downregulate your system, you're going to end up in a bind, my friend. Either you can't access that calm state at all, or you're going to dampen the very edge, the energy that could have been useful if you knew how to work with it. Because performance anxiety, whether on a stage or in private conversation, it's not just a thought problem. It's a full system shift. Your posture changes, your breath changes, your field of attention changes, and it'll tighten or scatter. Your timing shifts. And from the outside, it can look like a communication issue or a lack of skill. But what's actually happening is that the version of you that knows what to do, it's just no longer fully available to you. Most approaches will try to solve this as like a one-size-fits-all by helping you feel better first and then perform. But there is another path, and it is far more reliable. You build the ability to perform while activated, while your system is lit up, when your heart rate is elevated, when your thoughts are moving quickly, when the moment is not clean or controlled. Not by overriding your body, not by trying to escape what you're feeling, but by learning how to organize yourself inside it. Now, I'm going to pause here. Shameless commercial. We have a Somatic Skins Quiz because our bodies are not a one size fits all. Yours under pressure is going to break down into one of four dominant patterns: the warrior, the sage, the shapeshifter, or the asset. And knowing your pattern is going to give you access to a whole range of how to work with it. So take the quiz. You'll receive some initial orientation emails and letters from us that will open up a deeper conversation between you, your body, your nervous system, and how to train it under pressure. Okay, so back to the topic. Can you stay with your body when it's activated instead of pulling away from it? Can you access your structure and strength when your system wants to collapse or tighten? Can you use your breath to create range instead of just trying to elongate the exhale and sedate yourself? Can you direct your attention instead of losing it to the moment? Because when those capacities are in place, something will shift. You're no longer dependent then on feeling a certain way in order to perform. You won't need perfect conditions or the perfect warm-up or the perfect preparation. You can be activated and still precise. You can be stressed and still present. You can be tired and still uncanny and effective. Instead of only rehearsing in clean, controlled conditions when everything feels good and it's predictable, you must train to include friction. You must learn to introduce pressure. You must deliberately step into environments that simulate the very moments that usually throw you off. This is why we believe in training this. We are not looking to overwhelm you. We are looking to expand what you can hold so that when real moments come, they're not unfamiliar to you. Your system goes, oh yeah, I know this because you've been there before. And your system has spiked and you stayed with it and you found your breath without disappearing and you've maintained your structure even when things become messy and chaotic. Over time, your system reorganizes around that and you no longer need to have a game plan for XYZ all the way through. You don't need to eliminate pressure or have perfect conditions in order to perform. You know how to use pressure. This is what 13 years of working with people at this level looks like at practice. That's my expertise. My co-founder and partner in crime, Tom, he's been at it way longer than that. We're not looking to fill gaps of knowledge. We want to unlock what's already held within you because this level of capacity is not developed through insight alone. It's built through experience, through pressure, through environments that require you to stay with yourself and organize in real time, through repetition that allows that to become something you can rely on. Now, you can wait for life to hand you chaos. It's messier, the cost and fallout is a lot higher, and you don't know when the lessons are going to come and what they're teaching, right? There's no structure to it. There's no environment to it. That's why we built the Prestige. It's built exactly for this. So, Prestige, it's our Applied Somatics Academy, which means that we are not working at the level of more ideas. We're working at the level of events and your nervous system. The monthly events, they place you in these conditions like simulators, where your system has to stay with itself under pressure. Each event is calibrated to bring about certain kinds of shifts and disruptions, right? And then the coaching circles take what happens in those events and they translate it into your decisions, your conversations, your work, so that it becomes usable rather than the occasional fallout of life. So if you've ever felt that gap between knowing what to do and then not being able to execute it powerfully when a moment had weight, then you already know what's at stake here. And the more that you continue to evolve on your front edge of potential, the impact that you want to have, the more expensive this gap becomes. So the question is whether you would like to continue trying to feel ready and gather more knowledge, or whether you would like to train yourself to perform without needing all that stuff. We're opening up the next season of The Prestige. If you're ready to build this capacity with us, step in. It's a heck of a lot of fun, but really it's a calibrated edge for you to grow with skilled support and a kick-ass community. If that sounds like something up your alley, let's start the conversation and just take it from there.